Hey, what's going on out there in IE Network land? Good evening, good evening. And when you know it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you know it's time for another exciting edition of the Benchwarmers podcast, exclusively here on the IE Network on YouTube. And to be more specifically, that's youtube.com/ IE Network TV. And you go quickly click on that in the search engine and you'll be able to watch this wonderful program. I'm, of course, the man himself, your host, James Acevedo. My co-host, Heaven Hollywood, will be joining me very shortly. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this wonderful show. Not just the show, but, of course, the network, of course. Shout out to my producer extraordinaire, the director, a.k.a. Wes Clock. And it's spelled DADIRECTOR for those who think I'm saying instead of the. That's the way he spells it. And you know who you are out there. But anyway, moving right along, as Fozzie the Bear would say on the Muppet Show movie, we have a lot to talk about. Please, if you feel free to donate to the network and to us wonderful people that give you this great content, exclusive content. On right here, you can go on Super Chat, and I forgot the other thing that's on here. For the IE Network, the donation. For myself, I have my own Cash App. It's the $ Jimmy Ace Cash, JIMMYACECASH. Hello, I'm Jimmy Ace Cash. Yes. Jimmy Ace Cash on Cash App, and of course, Heaven Hollywood's Cash App is $ Heaven Hollywood. Very simple enough. And the IE Network, if I'm not mistaken, also has a Cash App, IE Network. So a lot of ways for you to donate, show your support and love besides watching and listening to the show, of course, which we greatly appreciate, of course. And like I said, like, comment, subscribe to this channel. We have a lot going on here on this network, so trust me, it's even going to get bigger and better than it is right now, if that's even possible. And it will be, trust me. Now, moving right along, it seems the nonsense, not just my Yankees and baseball, but baseball itself. Where do I start? Jeez, it seems like almost every monologue that I've start off on this show for the past, I would say, maybe 2 months or so. Seems more than that, probably 3 months. It seems like I always start with either with my Yankees or baseball or both. And let me tell you something. If you think things can get more ridiculous in the sport of baseball, then think again. First, I just have to say this with my Yankees first, and then I'll go to the nonsense that's been going on with this sticky, icky substance stuff that's been going on and what has happened since we last talked on here a week ago. Because I found out something very funny and embarrassing at the same time that happened a week ago tonight when I got off the air. So hold that thought, because first I'm going to talk about my Yankees. Well, just another embarrassing weekend, and I mean WEAK end, when it comes to my team embarrassing themselves once again to the Red Sox, and worse enough, it was in Fenway Park in Boston. Ugh. It's just numbing. It's to a point where I'm not even surprised. Like, most people, that's not me, by the way. Most people were like, "Oh, well, the Yankees have improved themselves. They beat the Royals 2 out of 3, which meanwhile they should have lost 2 out of 3. Only that last game they actually had a rout winning 8-1. But those first 2 games, one they blew the game and they almost blew the second game, and they come back to win. The Yankees, even with this mirage that they've been playing, like, oh, well, the Yankees are coming back. They're playing so well. I've seen this one thing that's been constant ever since, I would say, even going from last year. in the regular season with that 60-game shortened season. And that's the inconsistency of being consistent, if you catch my drift. They are such a yo-yo of a team, a Duncan yo-yo. I see it shows how old I am saying Duncan yo-yo. They were a Duncan yo-yo type of team going up and down, and it's more bad than good. I mean, there is absolutely no spark on this team. I sound like a broken record, but I'm gonna say it again. No spark, no heart, no guts, no passion. And please don't come on here and tell me, well, you know, it looks that way when you getting good pitching being pitched against you. When you're facing pitchers that shouldn't be in the major leagues and they're two hitting you, that's a problem. And you're striking out the joint. Okay, that's a problem. It's not like we're facing a bunch of Cy Youngs here for the most part. Okay, it's not like you're facing who's in my avatar, you know, Mariano Rivera, and he's just making you look ridiculous with the cutter. You know, it's not like that. Okay, you know it's coming, but you can't do nothing with it. This is not the case. You're talking about pitchers that shouldn't even be in a major league roster. You got a guy yesterday. By the way, the Yankees lost to the Angels the first game. Last time I checked, they were winning 1-0. Whoop-de-doo, as Jack Gleason would say. Actually, what Archie Bunker was saying, All in the Family. Whoop-de-doo. But this guy, I forgot the dude's name. He was throwing up on the mound. A guy throwing up the mound, not even 100% health-wise, and I hope he's okay, by the way, you know, and for what I know, he is. But a guy who isn't even physically not well to pitch well against you. And just embarrassing yourself, not only in front of the Bronx in the South Bronx, the Yankee Stadium, but to the world of Yankee fans that follow you. You know, it's sad. You know what? It's a sad state of affairs when it comes to me. And you know, you all know how much I love baseball. It's a sad state of affairs where it could be this time right now, because you know, baseball is practically almost every day from April to October. And you look at the clock. Oh, it's 10 after 8. Ah, there's a game on. That's right. It came on like at 7 o'clock or so, whatever. What should I do? Because when you have a boring team like my team, and you know that 9 times out of 10 they're gonna disappoint you, what do? You go, okay, you know what? Let me wait a little bit. That's some of my thoughts. Sometimes, most of the time, is I forgot. Let me see what time it is. Okay, it's about 9:30, almost 10 o'clock. Okay, it should be halfway through. Let me see how the game is. I go on. Okay, 7th inning. Now, depending around the time of the game, if it's like 7th inning and it's close, when I say close, I'm saying like if it's a 1 or 2 run deficit, like if the Yankees are up 2 or down 2, I go, okay, you know what? I'll watch this. But if I see like 5-0 and they're losing, turn off the TV. It's over. You know, this team, I mean, they got no resurgence whatsoever. No surge, no nothing, no. And I blame that because there's no leadership on this team. And don't give me, Aaron Judge, you know, Aaron Judge is our future captain. You know, he's going to be that guy. No, he's not. He's not. I'm going to spell it out for you for this team. They are SOFT, soft. Soft. They're soft in the head. They're soft. They're soft. They see a mountain out of a mole hill, and they head for the hills. No pun intended. It's like they see diversity. They go, what do we do? They're the type that they like the bully in the playground, right? But when you don't bow down to the bully and you step right back up to them, then they cower. And that's what this team is, basically. Unless they get up in a big lead and, they do what they do best, just hit home runs or strike out, and have a somewhat of a lead, then okay, then they might be doing well. But now the pitching's catching up to them because of the sticky icky stuff, whatever the substance. Not all of them were overdoing it with the stuff, but as you can see, Garrett Cole, who embarrassed himself, it might have been his worst outing, not only as a Yankee, but I think in his professional career. I mean, right away, he gave up 4 runs in the first inning. First pitch, home run. They gave him another 3 runs. And what I found funny is that as he's getting off the mound, heading back to the visiting dugout, this is when the umpires do those checks. You know, anybody doesn't know, the umpires can check the starting pitchers for illegal substance twice a game. They do it at the beginning and they do it like in the middle of the game. And the look on Garrett Cole's face is almost like, well, if you really think I'm using something after I gave up 4 runs, then you know I have to use something better. It's like an insult to injury. You know what I mean? It's like, and here's the funny thing of this stat when it comes to, now this is a good segue to the sticky icky stuff. Garrett Cole, the first few months, he had an ERA like under, you know, like 1 point something something. Then like he had 1 point, maybe about 2. You know what he had this month since the sticky icky substance thing came out in public? His ERA is 5. That's a huge jump. That's more than double what he just had as far as, you know, the ERA for the month in June. 5. The Yankees themselves have been, you know, and it's not just the Yankees. The baseball itself is embarrassing themselves the way the sport is played now, and the only reason it's any interest at all is me talking about it, because that's the only excitement you're gonna hear when it comes to baseball. Look at this past weekend when it comes to Yankees versus Red Sox, right? And this is this past weekend, because in overall this season, they're 0-6 against the Red Sox. Now, I know everyone's going to say, well, remember, Jimmy Hayes, you know, they went 0-8 against them in 2009. Yeah, but at least that team, they showed something. They had heart. This team has 0 heart. But anyway, here's the stats for this weekend in Fenway Park. Red Sox swept them. The Red Sox scored 18 runs in the 3-game series, where the Yankees scored 7. So that's more than double. The batting average for the Red Sox was 309 to the Yankees' pathetic team batting average of 248. The on-base plus slugging, you know, on-base and slugging percentage, the Red Sox were 857 to the Yankees 632. The starting pitching ERA for the Red Sox, a very respectable 1.56 to the Yankees' embarrassing ERA of 6.60. But wait, it gets worse. The bullpen ERA, the Red Sox have a stellar 0.93 ERA to the great Yankee bullpen of 5. As Sir Charles would say, Charles Barkley, just terrible. Terrible. It's just, and it's not just against the Red Sox. It's these other teams. They can't win against their division. They're 17-24 against their division. Right now, they're 40-38 as we speak, 7.5 games behind first place. They only had 1 day where they were in first place, and that's when they were tied for first on April 6th. So basically, just not even 5-6 games into the season. So that really shouldn't count. They average under 4 runs a game, which is 13th in the American League. And they are right now, as we speak, a -4 run differential, which means that they've given up way more runs than they have scored. Last year, they were +45 in run differential. So a huge difference, like practically half of that. They were half better, way better when it comes to run differential. And there's something that I really keep forgetting to bring up. It's not that I don't want to talk about it, but I kept forgetting to bring up, which is a very interesting thing that's been, you know, and I'll get to the sticky icky stuff, what happened when Max Scherzer and Nomo from the Oakland A's, the relief pitcher. But remember with the Astros scandal last year with the, you know, the trash can, you know, basically being tipped off with what pitch was coming and blah, blah, blah. Here's another interesting thing as I did a little research. Notice how the pitchers on that team, whether it was Garrett Cole or Verlander or some of these other guys, they pitch so much better. Ain't that funny? Coincidence? Gee, I wonder if they were using that crazy glue or Gorilla Glue like all these other pitchers were using. Funny how that wasn't talked about. I find it very interesting because if you remember Justin Verlander when he got traded to, which by the way didn't even almost happen because he didn't even want to go from Detroit to Houston. And then the GM stepped in, and I forgot the cuckold. I forgot the pitcher's name. That's not with the White Sox. He kind of put his 2 cents in and told him, "Nah, pitch here. You be great." Blah blah blah. And the rest is history. And I guess he told him, a little secret like, "Hey, we got this sticky icky stuff, and it'll make you pitch better. Your spin rate will go up, and you'll be like your old self again, like you were in earlier in your career with Detroit." Okay, I'll come. Sure, I'll agree to the trade guy. He had a no trade clause, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in his contract at the time. What I also found funny is that, remember, Carlos Beltran was on that team when it came to the hitting stuff. And after he left there, he went to the Yankees for a few years. Matter of fact, I think he went there. He was there in 2018, 2019. And if you remember 2019, when he was he was like a special advisor, whatever his role was with the Yankee higher management, in the office. And there was a series that weekend. Matter of fact, it was 2 years ago at this time, because it was around the end of June. It was exactly around this time 2 years ago. And one of the games where it was one of these slugfests that the Yankees won against the Red Sox, Alex Cora kind of let the cat out of the bag when he was saying, yeah, they kind of know what's going on. We kind of know what's going on over there because, they got Carlos Beltran. And they kind of know what's going on. Basically, he threw Carlos Beltran on the bus and went over everybody's head. I even remember then when he was saying, like, what does he mean by Carlos Beltran being on the Yankees? But he said it in a way. It wasn't like he said it like, oh, Carlos Beltran being on the Yankees has given them that much of an edge. That's why they approved. He was indicating there was something fishy going on, because basically he got the same formula from Beltran because they were together in Houston in 2017. So it's funny how when Beltran left after 19 as a special advisor, and then he was supposed to be the manager for the Mets, and then all this scandal came out of Houston, and then he's been blackballed ever since, unfortunately. But yet, Alex Cora and the other guy that's in Detroit managing the Tigers, they get their jobs back after a year, which I don't know how that's fair. But anyway, after only serving 1 year suspension. But anyway, and the Astro players didn't even get penalized for cheating, which is a disgrace. But it's just funny, and I'm not saying that's why the Yankees haven't hit well or consistently, but it's very what a coinky dinky that ever since he left in 2019 as a special advisor, Carlos Beltran, who was trying to be a manager of the Mets, where he didn't even last one day because the scandal came out with the Houston Astros when he was on that team as part of the benching coach, that the Yankees' inconsistency with their offense has sputtered. It's funny, huh? Just saying, just putting that out there. Not saying that that's the reason why. It's just something to make you think. That's all I'm saying. Just something to make you go, as Arsenio Hall would say back in the day. Things that make you go, interesting. I just find it. And by the way, speaking of sticky icky stuff, what an embarrassment a week ago, last Tuesday night. If you for those who don't know, and for those who are casual fans of baseball, I know why you don't know, because you're not hardcore like me or some other fans. But it was all over the news when it came to Max Scherzer from the Nationals, Washington Nationals, and Joe Girardi of the Philadelphia Phillies. So anybody doesn't know, the last few weeks they started this rule with the now the pitchers are getting checked twice a game. For the sticky icky substance. Like, by the way, how stupid can you be if you get caught knowing that this is getting put out there and the umpires are now aware or now going to check you twice a game? I mean, you got to be a moron like that guy from the Mariners yesterday, which I forgot the guy's name, who got caught because he put the illegal sticky substance in his glove or whatever it was. He put it inside the glove. Moron. But anyway, I digress. So Max Scherzer, who's definitely going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame, a starting pitcher for the Washington Nationals, definitely an ace, definitely one of the best pitchers of this generation. Absolutely. He'll definitely be first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done, regardless of what sticky substance or whatever, which, by the way, hasn't been proven in his career, by the way. So I just want to put that out there. It's not that people have been talking about like it was with Garrett Cole, like, oh yeah, there's talk going around he's been using an illegal substance. That has never been the case, as far as I know, with Max Scherzer. So, he gets checked after the first inning, after he, did the inning, and then he got checked when he's walking up the mound. Okay, fine. Then they check again, and you see him getting annoyed, but he knows that this is the procedure. They do it twice a game. They do it, I think, the first and then again in the third inning. Now, it's in the fifth inning of the game. This is in Philly, by the way, so this gets better. And since it's Bank Park, by the way, one of my favorite ballparks to go to. I do like that park, especially the Philly cheesesteaks are pretty good. Not too bad. Girardi, when it was first and third, I forgot how many outs they were, but he wanted the umpire to check Max Scherzer again because he felt it was suspicious that Max Scherzer was running his fingers through his hair every time, it seems, for the most time. And Joe Girardi in the post game, he said that he never seen him do that in all the years he's pitched since 2010. He said Joe Girardi said, I've never seen him run his fingers through his hair when he pitched ever. So he find it suspicious that he was saying how, well, I wasn't trying to up one somebody, trying to do sportsmanship, gamesmanship. It's not sportsmanship, but gamesmanship, trying to one up on the Nationals, the one trying to offend anybody. But I just find it suspicious that he was running his fingers through his hair. So he was indicating that maybe he had some foreign substance in his hair that's illegal, that he shouldn't be using to get a better grip of the ball. And it became a circus. They approached Max Scherzer, and he's throwing his hands up, and he's unbuckling his pants, and he's a guy, and he's screaming, I got nothing. And Girardi's like watching him from afar in the dugout, and he's like, come on, this is absolute ridiculous, like that he doesn't have nothing. So he gets a little aggravated, and then Max Scherzer looks in the dugout, and he's looking at Girardi and said, look, it's sweat. That's all I have is sweat. And he goes to the umpires, hey, you want to run your fingers through your hair? Like, how disgusting that is. I would vomit if I had to do that. And he runs his fingers through his hair. Okay, nothing in there. Okay, fine. So then the game goes on. And then maybe a couple innings later, Max Scherzer, does his thing as usual. He dominates. And as he's walking off the mound, he's staring hard at Girardi. Like, okay, are you going to say something now? I'm waiting for you to say something. Say something. Right? And so when I first saw this, and I saw Girardi acting irate, going out the dugout, oh yeah, you want some, come get some kind of thing. Come on. I thought he was saying that to Max Scherzer. But I did a little research. It wasn't Max Scherzer that he was saying that to and yelling at. It was the hitting coach of the Nationals, former Yankee hitting coach Kevin Long. And they were together at one point, back in the days when they were on the Yankees, when he was the manager and he was his hitting coach. Kevin Long was screaming from the dugout, basically, hey, what you did was, not cool. That was, basically Bush League, calling, telling the umpires, look, check him again after he was checked twice. So it struck a nerve on Girardi. He comes out the dugout, hey, you want some, K Long? You want some? Come. He's like, come here. And he's embarrassing himself, and the umpires are like, dude, just get out of here. You get out of here. You're thrown out the game. Just go home. Get out of here. Just get out of here. And how ridiculous it is that here you have a game of baseball where we should be talking about, hey, Fernando Tatis Jr., man, he's really killing it with the Padres. 3 home runs in one game. But how about Guerrero Jr.? You see what he's doing with the Blue Jays? He could be an MVP candidate. Whoa, you see what DeGrom is doing with the Mets? Man, his ERA is like 0.5 something. That's what should be talked about. Instead, we're talking about this circus that's going on. And freaking Robert Manfred should be one of the people held responsible. Because instead of like keeping this in-house, and really should have been taken care of before the season started. Because let's not act like, oh, they didn't know that they were doing this. It's only because the offense was going down the toilet. People were complaining, especially the hitters, which, by the way, are in the same union as the pitchers. So that union is not 100% unified. So they look, hey, we're not liking what was going on here. And that's when Robert Manfred opened his mouth and said, okay, we're going to check. We're just going to throw this and stick to the wall, see what happens. And basically just run with it. And not even sitting down with the union and giving it time. Like, okay, how can we do this without making a spectacle out of it? Which, of course, that's what it turned into. It's ridiculous. And then you got Normo from the Athletics, the Oakland A's. He was getting checked, and right away he threw his hat on the floor, the glove. He's unbuckling his pants. It's like, what is it? Why did it? It's turning into Major League. You know, like what's going on here? It's like, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. A sport that used to be held in such a high pedestal is now a laughing stock. It's a laughing stock, and it's basically been like that for the last few years. This is not something that just, oh wow, this is just a, you know, what a change, and what's going on with a national pastime. Well, a national pastime is probably, maybe I'm being kind, maybe the third popular sport in the country. If you know, now if you're a hockey fan, you might say maybe baseball fourth, but as far as American sports, it's definitely third. It's at least third, unfortunately. And I was around at that time, and Heaven could tell you also who's joined us, by the way. And I'm blabbering away, so I'm sorry. Just have to get this off my chest. It used to be number one. The ratings would be like NFL, like especially the World Series, a 40 share. You know, 40 million people watching. If you look up when the Mets were in the '86 World Series, 10 billion people were watching. The Robert Manfred would die for half of that right now, or a quarter of that. You know, it's they don't know how to promote their guys. They're a bunch of more. They don't know how to market their guys. They got great young talent. You got that what's his name, Otani, who's doing his thing. Although I do feel he's a little overrated. You know, the guy who pitches and hits. But at least that's something. You know, he brings something to the table. They don't know how to bring out their personalities. You know, they don't do none of this. What happened to you know, when we used to have you know, Mel Allen, you know, This Week in Baseball. See, they used to promote the game well back in the day. Now it's just like, you go into MLB Network. We showed this kid show at 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's it. You know, nothing to promote. Where NBA and especially NFL, the NFL is a total opposite. They know how to promote this. They know how to promote their guys. You know, it's like, you see, again, MLB does not know how to evolve. And if you do not evolve, you will disappear. All these other sports have evolved. MLB has to learn how to evolve. Because if you don't evolve, where me and Heaven's generation die off, and when West, you know, unfortunately goes too, the youngsters are going to be like, well, I don't want to watch this sport. I don't care. I'd rather watch soccer. I'd rather play soccer. I'd rather play basketball. I'd rather play football. Their sport's in trouble. Don't be surprised 25, 30 years from now, you know, baseball, you can't find it nowhere. It's not on the major channels no more. It's like, oh, yeah, you got to go to, you know, Duck Duck Goose to find it. Whatever. So, yeah, it's an embarrassment. And I'm going to let Heaven take it away from here. And then we can go into the Western and Eastern Conference Finals talk. And, of course, the stuff, of course. By the way, good evening, Heaven. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, man? Yeah, I was waiting for Leslie Nielsen to do a James Brown turn in a split. You know, that's the only thing we were missing.
Sure, right? Yeah.
That's the only thing we're missing from that game. I'm just gonna talk real quick on this. I'm gonna tell you this. Girardi knew that dude was not docking the ball. What Girardi was doing was he was just trying to break Scherzer's rhythm because he was dominating. Exactly. So he was just trying to continue to say, oh, let's stop and check him again. Just because he's allowed to check him. What, are you allowed to check him 3 times? Or you can check him as many times as you want?
It's supposed to be twice. And see, and again, this is Major League Baseball and the geniuses, and I say that lightly. They don't think this out. It's like, well, it's only supposed to be twice, and now it's a wild wild west because a manager could use it anytime. It's kind of like freezing the kicker in the NFL. You know, when they're about to hit that big kick, and you're okay, wait,
you only going to freeze them once.
Yeah, so this is their version of freezing the pitcher. And what they should do is, okay, well, if you do that and you request yourself a third one, because the first two are the umpires, they do it. But the third time, if you say, "Hey, I want this guy checked out. I think there's something going on," you better have evidence. You don't have any evidence,
right? Or if they go out there and they find nothing, you lose your timeout, or you can't do any challenges, or you lose a challenge, or something like that, or you get thrown out. You get thrown out for delay a game.
Yeah, thrown out and fine that way. Because now, people be like, that's kind of good gamesmanship there. Some manager be saying, yeah, now if
right,
like,
so now they'll
throw him off. And mind you, it was the guys had run. He had first and third, so he was already in trouble. Now you're throwing you're playing mind games with Max Scherzer. And Max Scherzer is a psycho, by the way. He's you don't mess with Max Scherzer. He's the type of dude like, nah, you don't want to go there. Max Scherzer, man, because he's like, okay, you want to play?
He's a psychopath.
Okay. Hey, Tony Montana, you want to play games? Okay, we play games. Yeah. So it's like it's a bad thing. I mean, when I found this out a week ago, and you text me, dude, what was going on? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just found this out when I got off the air. Too bad I didn't know about this while it was happening. I think it was a little later after I was already.
Yeah, I was watching the highlights, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It's
I'm thinking, dude, checked him, and then a couple of innings later, you think he didn't get caught a couple of innings before, and then he's gonna say, "Oh, they checked me already, so now I'm gonna go out there and do it." Like, what pitcher's gonna do that?
Hey, well, except for that one moron with the Mariners, yes, yeah. But see, and that's another thing too. It's like, okay, if you know they're gonna check, well, duh, they're not gonna like be that stupid. It's like, well, hello, even like, well, hello, I'm not gonna be that obvious and that dumb and like, oh yeah, well, yeah, go ahead. I know you're gonna check on me, but I don't care. I'm using Vaseline or whatever, crazy glue, gorilla glue, sticky icky leaky, whatever it is. It's just, see, once again, just like with the steroids, they overdo it. Instead of just, okay, let's keep this in house, but let's police it ourselves without the billions of people knowing. Let's just shut up. Let's do this inside and take care. But no, they throw their dirty laundry to the public like a bunch of morons. And then they, it's almost like they purposely want to do that because that's the only way people be interested in baseball or something. It's just stupid. It's just dumb leadership. Robin Manfred, I mean, I thought, it didn't get any worse. I thought Bug Selig was a joke. I mean, this guy, I know what's his name from the NFL. It's like, good.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, now I'm not looking as stupid as this guy is. But it's a close tie with him and Goodell. The two morons. Except the NFL is doing way better, despite of Goodell. But anyway, moving right along, I put my 2 cents into that. With the NBA playoffs, I definitely want to get your thoughts since you weren't on last week. I want to get your thoughts. What the last couple of weeks have been, from then until currently with the Eastern Western Conference Finals.
Right.
You're thinking playoffs right now and the last few weeks that you were last on.
Well, ironically, it's of course making my guy LeBron James look bad because it's making it seem as though like LeBron is they want to make it seem like everything bad about the game is LeBron's fault. So the ratings were down. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, the ratings are up 40%. It's because LeBron's not there. And everyone is much more interesting in basketball because LeBron made it political. No. Trump made it political. LeBron didn't make it political.
Gotcha.
Trump made it political. When he started with the no kneeling and this, that, and that's a shame and don't let the animals run the zoo and all this other crap. So he made it political. But the ratings were up now because they're saying, with LeBron not in there, you get a chance to see other talent, and so, okay, which is fine. The Bucks game, I didn't talk about the Nets, so
yeah,
the Nets and the Bucks, where it was pretty much Kevin Durant versus the Bucks.
Yep, the last game.
And ironically, he comes within a toenail of winning the series pretty much by himself. That last shot, I'm sorry. I know technically the edge of his toe was on the line. I would have gave it to him. I just would have gave him a 3. I had such an issue. I had such an issue with Giannis. Now, you are the 2-time defensive player of the year. Let me tell you about, I don't know whether you saw the press conference after Kevin Durant scored that 49 points or what have you.
Oh, the
and
one.
I believe.
Oh, you're talking about.
So this is the one that put them up 3-2. He did this in Jersey. I guess it put them up 3-2 or whatever. Yeah. Right. So you are the defensive player of the year, right? And you have PJ Tucker guarding Kevin Durant, who's like 6 inches shorter. So you're the defensive player of the year 2 times. You're the same height as Durant. You play the same position as Durant. Yet and still, you're sending little 6'5" PJ Tucker out there to guard Durant. Then you're sending Drew Holiday, who's 6'3", to guard Durant. So the press conference comes at the end of the game. Now remember, this game was close. Fourth quarter, no Greek freak on Durant. Yep. They go to the press conference. This is when I thought they were done. They said, so Giannis, KD got it going tonight. 49 points, triple doubles, another. Do you think there's something that maybe you guys, can do next game, maybe to slow him down? So Giannis goes, slow down KD? And he said, yeah, he goes, I don't know, Kev. What do you think? What do you suggest? Right? So now he's talking to the reporter. Reporter goes, maybe you could guard him. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, that's a good suggestion. He is the defensive player of the year. Maybe you can guard him. So this is the funniest thing ever. I can't believe he didn't get more coverage. So Giannis goes, because Giannis says, any suggestions? Maybe you could guard him. Me? Yeah. Guard KD? He said, yeah. He goes, what else? Oh, so you didn't like that suggestion? What else? You're the defensive player of the year.
Can you
what do you mean, what else?
What else? Can you imagine like the legends that we grew up watching being like that? I don't know. What else?
He said, what else? There should be no what else. You are the defensive player of the year. So that should be the final decision. You should be guarding Kevin Durant. If he beats you still, there are no other. At least he beat you with the best solution. Exactly. The best solution is for you to guard him.
Yeah, like white arm.
So even after he did that, he said, I would like to guard him in game 6. Game 6 came and went. He didn't guard him. Now here's game 7. A game 7, and these dudes are the game 7 comes, and KD's going off again, but he's pretty much him by himself. James Harden's pretty much on one leg, no Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
And then down the stretch, PJ Tucker's still guarding him. And Durant hits the shot over PJ Tucker to send it in the OT. And then when OT comes, he has the same shot, and Giannis is still not guarding him. I swear, just so they would have came back to bite him, I wish that was a 3. I wasn't rooting for Brooklyn, but on this occasion, I wish that was a 3 and it would have sent them home. Because what happens is, now that it didn't work and they survived it, they'll continue thinking that that was the right move. But it was not the right move. He just happened to, and the worst thing about it is they say that Durant plays in shoes a size bigger than his foot. And if he was playing in his regular size shoes, that would have been a 3.
Wow.
Because it was a half an inch on the 3-point line. And if he's playing in his regular size, that's a 3 and the game is over. So I wasn't really impressed with them struggling to beat the Nets when the Nets really pretty much had one man. Over on the other side, I am equally impressed with the Clippers, who are doing this pretty much without Kawhi Leonard. That pretty much is going to make him look, wow, we're paying all this money for you, and we went further with you not in the lineup.
Yeah, with him in a luxury box with some chick.
Right. One thing I've learned about Ty Lue, I think he's the best. I think he is the best head coach in basketball. And
I agree.
And Ty Lue, he makes adjustments, and this is what they were talking about with Doc Rivers. He makes adjustments on the fly. When they're down 0-2 to Dallas. They're down 0-2 to Dallas. He comes in. He takes Patrick. Now, Pat Beverly is the starting point guard. He sees how Luka is pointing out Pat Beverly, switching off on him and destroying him. Remember when Luka yelled, "You're too effing small." So he got the N1. He's yelling at Pat Beverly, who's like a massive defender, but he's just too small to guard Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Ty Lue takes Pat Beverly out of the series and doesn't play him anymore.
See?
They turn the series around. And what does Kawhi Leonard do on the other end? I got Luka. Unlike Giannis saying, I got Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard says, I got Luka. So, and when he went on him, he pretty much turned the series around. The next series, so they were down 0-2. They came back. Remember, Ty Lue has come back from 0-2 more than any head coach in the history of the NBA, and he hasn't even been coaching that long. So now remember, I know it was a little different. He had LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. Remember, he came back down 0-2 against the so-called best team ever in history. He came back down 0-2 and then 3-1 to them. He came back down 0-2 this year to Dallas. He then goes into the next series, loses Kawhi Leonard. He's down 0-2 to Utah. And they come back and beat Utah.
It's very impressive.
And very impressive. Now he was down 0-2 to Phoenix. They got the one game. They went down 3-1. And then last night in Phoenix, with Chris Paul a chance to go to the finals for the first time in his history, first time for the Suns since 1993, the Clippers playing without their starting center, Zubac, without Kawhi Leonard, go in and absolutely wax the Suns in Phoenix. Now it's 3-2 going back to the Clippers, and all of the pressure switches to the Phoenix Suns because the Clippers are playing with house money. If they lose the series, we didn't have our best player.
Exactly.
So of course we lose.
Yep.
You know, the Phoenix Suns have Chris Paul, who a lot of people say is the MVP this year. But he's also got some demons to fight because Chris Paul's never been to the finals, and he has also blown a couple of 3-1 leads.
True.
So Chris Paul, I remember Chris Paul on the Clippers. They were playing the Houston Rockets. They were up 3-1. Yes, right. And in game 5, they were up 30. Up 3-1 and up 30.
Jeez.
In the second half. And the Rockets came back and won that game and then ended up winning the series. So he blew a 3-1 lead there. He's blown another 3-1 lead somewhere else. And then when he was on Golden State, they were up 3-2. he gets hurt. I mean, when he was on Houston, they were up 3-2 with a chance to win. They win game 5. They go up 3-2, and then he gets hurt, and then they lose the next 2 games. So now he's up 3-1. They go into Phoenix last night. They lose. I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Clippers win game 6, they're winning the series.
They're gonna go.
They will. If I end the games in Phoenix, and I will still say it, I do not care. If the Clippers get this to a game 7, who am I going to trust? The young Suns or Ty Lue, who's been doing this? He's been pretty much playing elimination games the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take the experience. Paul George, Marcus Morris, the Phoenix Suns, other than Chris Paul, who's never made it to a final. Devin Booker, yes, they call him Baby Mama, but he's still a baby. DeAndre Ayton's a rookie. It's only his second year. Monty Williams hasn't coached that long.
Outstanding
and
job.
The rest of the guys are young guys. Yeah, he did an outstanding job this year. He definitely deserved Coach of the Year. But I'm telling you, man, I always have a habit of rooting for the underdog. And because Kawhi isn't there, I don't feel it's bad rooting for the Clippers. Because now I kind of want them to win to kind of make Kawhi look bad. Now, if Kawhi was still there, of course I'd be rooting against him. I'm a Laker fan. I would love for them just to flame out again. But I'm telling you, it's just a fan in me, period. Of course, it's not my team that they're playing, so it's a little bit. I start rooting for the underdog, man, and I see how they've been killing Paul George, and Paul George has quietly, I believe it's 8 straight playoff games, 20 points or more, and I think in the history of in the playoffs, I think in the history of the league, I believe only Kobe, Jordan, and Durant have done that.
Wow.
So he scored 8 straight games, 20 points or more in the playoffs. So and only those 3 guys have done it. So we're gonna find out tomorrow. As far as the Bucks and Hawks go, the Hawks were a great story. It's good to watch them. Trae Young is electrifying. He's like the new Curry, but he hurt his ankle, and I didn't have them beating the Bucks even with Trae Young. So I like the Bucks to end up finishing them off at some point.
You see Bucks versus who? What's your gut say? What's your heart say? What your brain say?
Okay.
What do you think will happen?
My heart says I want to see Chris Paul.
Me too. I agree.
My gut is saying after that game last night, I have no confidence whatsoever in Chris Paul. Because 2 things that I see. Since Ty Lue, another great move Patrick Beverley on Devin Booker, he's pretty much been neutralized because, he got 35, I think, last night, but he took a ton of shots to do it. He missed all his 3. I think he made me 1 or 2 3-point shots. And since he broke his nose the other game,
that's
Booker
right.
hasn't really been the same since Patrick Beverley with his wild set broke his nose. So my heart is saying I would love to see Chris. Number one is the Clippers, and I just can't get enough of them losing.
I understand. They're like the Nets,
but it's right. But it's Chris Paul against the Clippers. His ex team.
Yeah,
and then it's Chris Paul versus Rondo, who they hate each other.
Yeah,
and then you got the baby Mamba. Of course, I have a soft spot for Kobe, and Devin Booker reminds me, out of any player in the NBA, he reminds me the most of Kobe.
Wow.
So I would love to see them win. Plus, I want to laugh at all the people that said, there's a Kardashian curse. Devin Booker's dating Kendall Jenner.
Yeah.
So I would like to laugh in people's face, be like, "Hey, Kardashian curse, huh? He's in the finals." So I would love to see it happen. However, I am, man, I have no confidence whatsoever. I'm picking the Clippers to win Game 6. Now, if you're going now, you're talking Game 7, where home court don't matter. That's the ultimate game. The Game 7, it don't matter most of the time. Now, of course, it matters. Numbers wise, it does matter. The home team wins the majority of Game 7s.
Not lately in the last few years, but
anything can happen. That's what I mean. And in a Game 7, anything can happen. So, yeah, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Bucks Clippers. I mean, I really am. I hope I'm wrong. So I don't know, and I know it's ironic. Like the Clippers, without their best player, you really think they're gonna come back on a team like the Suns, down 3-1? You know what? I'm going.
If they do,
I'm gonna have to say. Listen. Okay, so since they're up there, it's gonna see almost impossible for them to do this without. Now, if they had Kawhi, it'd be a little different. First of all, if they had Kawhi, they wouldn't be down 3-1. They'd probably be up 3-1.
Yeah.
Just because I'm going to play the odds, I'll say the Suns hold on. But I'm going to tell you something. If the Clippers win Game 6, it's going to be, man, that's going to be from Game 7. But I'll go Bucks. I'll go Bucks Suns.
Bucks?
I'm going to hope. I'm going to hope.
Now, who put that in Vegas before the season started? Nobody.
Right. Nobody. Some people may have put the Bucks. Some people may have had the Bucks.
Maybe.
Nobody had the Suns.
Maybe, but not definitely the Suns.
Right. No people had the Suns.
I don't want to hear that. Oh yeah, no, you didn't. But here's the thing with Kawhi Leonard. Is it me? How severe is his injury? Is he a little soft? Is it really a big time injury he's having? Like,
I believe Well, ironically, they thought at first it was an ACL.
Oh well,
they thought it was an ACL.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's not an ACL, or the other one is even worse. It's not a. What's the two that I always get them mixed up? The two worst ones. The ACL and what's the other one?
The Achilles tendon.
The Achilles. Yeah. So they thought it was the ACL. Yeah, they thought it was ACL. So we'll find out whether it's an ACL or not.
Yeah.
But Kawhi Leonard, he's another one that always seems to get hurt. And now they're saying he's upset with the Los Angeles training center. This dude is just always upset with everybody except his work ethic and his exercise ethic. Why don't you go find out what LeBron James, Russell Wilson, and Tom Brady does, and do that. There's a reason why those guys are never hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you take some notes on that. Do something. Right. Especially not getting any younger. The window's closing pretty fast.
Did you have any other sports? Because I want to get to this. I gotta go over. A couple of the stuff points.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while since you've done the stuff, so I say we segue into that. I got nothing else, so
I'll tell you. So I first want to talk about Lil Kim challenging Nicki Minaj to a versus. That's the first thing we'll talk about. I then want to talk about, in the music business, this whole thing that's been happening with Megan Thee Stallion and the Baby, and how the Baby did a record with Tory Lanez, and I guess Meg Thee Stallion considered him as a friend, and she called him out on Twitter about working with Tory Lanez when he knows that she's in a case with Tory Lanez, and she accused Tory Lanez of shooting her. So I want to know, does the baby? I want your opinion. Does the baby owe Megan Thee Stallion loyalty, or can the baby say, "This is business. This is the music business, and I'm making record. I'm. This is at the end of the day, I gotta put food on my table to feed my family, and that's what that is, business." And then the third thing I want to talk about is this list that I saw. This female greatest MC list.
Oh,
now
you got me interested on that.
This female greatest MC list.
Who did this list?
So this was done by. Hold on. See, I don't want to.
Yeah, but
it's out of here.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to say their credentials like upper.
It's a magazine. It's like hip hop something. Like it's one of those magazines.
Okay, all right. We're going to go more into it. Okay.
Right, and I want to find it. Let me try to open up another tab.
So it's a respectable source, in a sense, or
opinion. Yeah, it's a respectable source. So I want to go to it. I'm gonna see if I find it. So so it is the top 10 female rappers or what have you.
You got me intrigued.
So the first thing was number 1 was Queen Latifah. They had Queen Latifah down as number 1. Now listen, I'm really not. If you want to put Queen Latifah 1, you know what? I'm not going to argue that because I could see some people. She did open up doors for a lot of female rappers. She was the first female rapper in TV. She was probably the first female rapper in movies. And then she's the first female rapper to have a talk show.
Yep.
So and she was a pretty good rapper. So I can see, I can see if you want to say this, if you want to say that Queen Latifah's 1, I really can't argue. Okay, that's not that bad.
Yeah, that's not that bad. And to back you up, not that you need it, but you've said in your lives right on here in IE Network, you have said if you want to say it's Queen Latifah, you want to say it's Nicki or Kim or even Miss Elliott, I won't argue. So you said that for a long time. So I totally agree with that, by the way, too. So that doesn't bother me.
So that doesn't really bother me. Would I have a 1? No, I wouldn't have a 1. But I won't. Yeah, I won't. I won't argue with it.
Definitely my top 5 female, I would say.
Yeah, so this is the list, and I still can't get who it was, but they have down here.
Okay, number 1's
number 2.
Okay, who's number 2?
Lil Kim. All right. Now, number 3, Missy Elliott. Now we still have not heard Nicki Minaj. Number 4, Lauryn Hill. So if they were doing a Mount Rushmore, Nicki Minaj would not be on it. Queen Latifah, Lil Kim, Missy, Lauryn Hill. Okay, that's not a bad 4. However,
Nicki
Minaj is the most globally celebrated female rapper ever. She took female rap and she globalized it.
Yeah, she took it to another level.
Kim nationalized it.
Yeah.
I mean, Little Kim helped nationalize it, and she helped, she took it into the fashion world, Marc Jacobs and stuff like that. But Nicki Minaj took it overseas into different countries.
Global. Yes. Global.
Where she's very popular. She globalized it fashion-wise, everything. So regardless of whether you like Nicki or whether you like her personality or whether you think she's got an attitude or you think this and other, you cannot take away
her credentials.
What she's done. Yeah. She whatever female rapper has had a run of 10 years when she dominated female rap.
Exactly.
So
she's very similar, like you said with Drake. Her and Drake are very similar. They have that same run,
right,
that same
very similar.
decade.
Exactly. That so now this is when you start 6. Rhapsody. Listen.
Oh,
Listen. Rhapsody is a great lyricist. I'll give her that. But no one's checking for rap. Can you name me 3 Rhapsodies? I can't name one Rhapsody song.
I can't even say a line.
Right. I can't even say a line from this chick. I heard, I've heard her. So yeah, she's got some bars. But you can't just bars is not. That's like saying, Nate Robinson is one of the best basketball players of all time because he won the slam dunk contest 3 times. That's nothing to do. Just because she has bars, it takes more than just bars to be to be one of the greatest rappers.
No more, unfortunately. Yeah, bars don't matter today. Yeah,
right. So you need other things. 7, Foxy Brown. I would have Foxy a little higher than that.
I agree.
They got the Brad at 8.
Come on.
And
I know Nicki.
The first female rapper to go platinum, I believe, was the Brat is.
Yeah.
So
Brat was okay.
First of all, Rhapsody, I'm pulling out of there. Now,
she's not be on that list.
Lauryn Hill. Let me say with Lauryn Hill. If you want to tell me to name the greatest female lyricist, I'm probably putting Lauryn Hill 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you're telling me about rappers, feel me? And number 2, Lauryn Hill was a part of a group.
Yeah, at first.
She wasn't a solo artist. She did pull out a solo album afterwards, but that album that she put out, as great as it is, was only half rap.
Yeah, it was half rap.
Right. The majority of it was an R&B album.
And that was the only album. That was it.
And that's the only album. So it's the same argument, Biggie and Tupac. I can't take it out on Big because he only had. I can't take it out on Pac because Big only had 2 albums. That's not Pac's fault.
Oh, Pac was a workaholic.
Right. I mean, they died around the same age. That Pac had 20 more albums than Biggie. So if Big wasn't a workaholic like Pac, I can't take that out on Pac.
Wasn't
say, he died too early. Well, Biggie only got 2 albums. Well, that's his problem.
Yeah, it happened that way. I mean, if he had a longer career, if he stayed alive, then we would say, he'd be more up there, But
my point being, I would have Nicki Minaj because of, she's got more top 40 hits than Aretha Franklin. I mean, come on. She's globalized it. Every single rapper out there right now is a builder Nicki. They all have been made to look like Nicki Minaj. Body wise, face wise, hair. Right. It's a builder Nicki. So I'm putting her 1. Like I said, I'm keeping everybody. When I had Queen Latifah in there, was like, oh, Latifah. Yeah, I'm keeping Latifah. And I know I had it in there for a reason. So I got, in no particular order, Nicki, Queen Latifah, Missy, and Lil' Kim. That's my 4 Mount Rushmore people. I just wanted to touch on, down at the bottom. I'm not putting Rhapsody in, and then I think they had Remy Martin in. I'm not putting Remy in there.
Well, she was 9 or 10. She was 9 or 10.
Yeah, I think she was 9. I think she was 9, and I forgot who was 10. They're not showing me. I'm not able to see the list.
Okay.
But they have. Hold on. Oh, more items. Yeah, I'm not putting. I think Remy was 9, and then someone else is 10. Nicki. I'm like, come on, dude.
Well, see,
and I don't believe they had MC Light in it.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I don't. If she was 10. So I'm like, wait a minute. They didn't have. They also didn't have. Has Queen Latifah, Missy, Nicki. Yeah, I'm like, come on, dude. So then they had like MC Light, I think is 11. Salt and Pepper shouldn't even be in there like together. And
yeah.
I said, man, listen, they had Trina all the way down at 18.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. They lose all credibility if you don't have Nicki somewhere in that top 3 or 5, or at least top 3. I mean, come on, that right there, you're showing again the blackball effect. Again,
the blackball effect, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, how can I take that as credible when you don't have Nicki up there? Like she don't exist, or she wasn't that.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Rod Digger at 9. I'm sorry, I can. As much as I liked Rod Digger, I can't put Rod Digger at 9. Rod Digger had no solo hits. She had not one hit.
It was always with the Buster in them.
Yeah, she got flip mode. I mean, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
Remy Ma at 10. I'm not putting Remy Ma ahead of MC Light. I mean, come on.
You should give your credentials up as a hip hop head if you think that.
I mean, how can you put her ahead of MC Light?
You can't.
I can't even put her ahead because of what she's accomplished. Even though I didn't listen to her, I can't put her ahead of Trina. Trina was running the South.
Yeah, she was pretty good. Yeah, well,
definitely not. I'm glad she's not ahead of Brat. She's not been the Brat. I mean, and here's another thing. And this girl always goes so overlooked. Where's Roxanne Shante?
Yeah,
she always goes overlooked whenever we talk about female rappers.
I mean, when she started, she was 14, 13, 14?
Yeah. 14. Come on, man.
I mean, that's what we did. Yeah, and you know what? That's an excellent point. She should at least be mentioned somewhere a little high. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point.
She came out, she was a diss rap. She was a freestyle rapper, a diss rap. I mean, she needs to be up there. She came out there, and people forget that Roxanne Shante dropped the diss track. I always talk about LL Cool J to the break of dawn when he took on 3 rappers. Yeah, she dropped the diss track where she took on like 10 females, like the top female rappers in the game. Latifah. First, let's start with. She started drop. She said something. I'm gonna start naming names. Let's start with Latifah.
Yeah.
What did she say? Get it. Something. She said, "Come too close, get in my face, and I'm gonna smoke your ass like reefer." And then she said something because you just phony. You and your girl Moni. Oh, she took Moni Love out. She said about a little bit, and what she say? She said. Little bit, I've done a little bit, and I'm about sick of that Moni in the middle. I was too. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, man, she just she dropped Light. She name dropped Light in that record.
I remember
Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, she went. Yeah,
everybody on.
She went on a tear, basically.
Big Mama. The name of the song was called Big Mama, and ironically, it was written by Granddaddy IU. Granddaddy IU, everybody thought it was Big Daddy Kane, but Granddaddy IU wrote the record. And the story goes that Tupac, because remember, Latifah was Tretch's girl.
Yeah, that was his
Tretch was hanging with Pac.
Yeah.
Tretch was hanging with Pac. Yep. And Granddaddy IU is out in the city.
Yep.
Tretch comes into a club with Pac, and IU is there. And I heard they ran down on him. They they were gonna run down on him because he wrote that record. And Pac was telling Tretch, "Yo, you want to run down on this sucker?" IU was out there, and his brother, and shout out to IU. I went to high school with Granddaddy IU, and his brother was official. So I don't. That's probably why they didn't do anything. His brother was official. But yeah, he told a story that Tupac and Tretch was going and Latifah was going to run down on him. Latifah was ready to hit him. Because he gave Roxanne Shante that record. He wrote that record.
He wrote all that. Oof.
Right. And another thing, other stuff. Did you ever hear the song "Cowboys" by the Fugees? Rod Digger was in that with Lauryn Hill. Oh, everyone wants to be a cowboy. Grab the guns.
Yeah,
that was a Tupac diss, and I never even knew about it.
That's right. It was. You're right. You're right about that. I remember now. That was a Tupac diss. That's where came back at him when he heard that. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was the two of them. Now, really quickly on Nicki, Lil Kim. Lil Kim comes out and says she wants to do a versus. She'll do one against Nicki Minaj. I'm not with it. I don't think it's a good matchup. Lil Kim, stop ducking that Foxy Brown smoke. That should be the only. That should be the only versus.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense. They're in the same generation.
Exactly.
They were out around the same time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the one. That's the one that was a comparison. You know, Nicki Minaj dropped really in 2009, 2010. You know, Lil Kim dropped in 96.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a 10-year gap. That's almost a 12-year gap. It's just too much. It's too far. I think Lil Kim's last hit was Lighters Up, and I think that's 2006. Nicki Minaj hadn't even dropped her debut album until 2009, 2010. So I just think the generation is just too far. The music sounds way too different. You know, it would be great. You know, everyone would want to see it. It would break the internet, but I just think that there's no wins for Nicki in that situation. Yeah, and I believe everybody, because Kim has been the underdog and Nicki pretty much took over her spot and made her irrelevant, I think everybody will be pulling for Kim, and that's when you start getting all these fake votes and fake judges and saying, "Oh, I think Kim won that." You know, it's like, how did Kim win that round?
Yeah, exactly. You know that's gonna happen. They'll be all on the Nicki hate train, and they're not doing it fairly, and that's not. It's
exactly. I wouldn't do it. If I'm her, you want to get with me, you know what? We can do it.
Did we lose Heaven? I think we lost Heaven there for a second. We might have lost Heaven. Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Okay, lost you for a second. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. Now, the whole thing with the baby and Meg Thee Stallion, where do you stand on that?
Say again with the baby. I'm sorry, I lost you.
Yeah, where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I remember you when you asked me that earlier. He should have, knowing the situation, at least be like, look, you cool with this? That what I'm about to do, all this. He could have.
Right.
I could see both sides of it. Right. I'm trying to make some money, blah blah. But knowing that this been now a year, we're approaching July, and it happened last year in July. This whole thing, which I've stated from last year, I still think it was it was fixed. I think it was a setup. I think just to push Megan to the next level. That's how I feel. I think it was like
I feel, I'm with you on that.
I mean, the more I thought about it since last year, and then come on, still no court date, still no nothing. I mean, come on. And yet these little subliminal stuff or here and there stuff, we'll say it on a song, but not. You're going on freaking live, but you're not gonna say nothing.
Right.
It sounds like it was just set up, and it's just funny how not too long after that happened, that's when her and Cardi B had that smash hit,
that big hit. That big song. It's like
That's a
the
good one.
humiliation ritual.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
she got past the humiliation ritual and
Bingo.
then pretty much blew up. I'm telling you, I
Exactly.
told people the other day, and they thought I was kidding me. I would
No,
not be shocked
me either.
if Tory Lanez is in on this whole
I've
thing.
been saying it. I've been saying it since last year. I've been saying it, man. I think it's a setup. And Reese, who's in the chat room, she knows I said that. So,
Yeah, right. I would not be shocked if Tory Lanez is in on and has gotten a check
yep.
and is in on this whole thing
Yeah.
to raise Megan to that next level. Because I
Yep.
told you, what happened to the court case? How come no one is hearing anything? These court cases are coming and going, and there's no news on it.
Exactly. A year later,
A
almost.
big, high-profile case like this, I
Come on.
think Tory just had court like last week. What happened?
Nothing.
No one knows anything.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. That's why I feel it was just a humiliation ritual, and just it was just all set up just to push Meg Thee Stallion to the next level. And once she passed that, then it's like, okay, now we're gonna go. Now we can
Right.
let out.
There's not enough. There's not enough evidence.
Really?
We're not
What
saying we're not saying he didn't do it.
No.
So that way Megan doesn't look bad. We're
No.
not saying he didn't do it. We're just saying there's not enough evidence. And the other witness, who's also been paid off, the Kelsey chick, she won't come forward. So if she doesn't come forward, we can't press charges. You see, that's how they're going to get out of it. They're going to say that the other girl will not come forward. That the eyewitness refuses to come forward. They had an eyewitness in it. They refuse to come forward. And if they don't come forward, I guess we can't press charges on Tory. So we're just as we were. We've wasted a year of your time. But as we go, everybody go back to their lives.
Thank you, sucker.
Thank you. Exactly. And that's what I believe is going to happen. I believe Tory is saying these things on, these little breadcrumbs, whatever, on purpose, because they're saying, okay, now you can say this. Now you can say that. I mean, what dude is going to come out and mention Jay-Z and say Jay-Z set him up? This dude, he ain't got that much balls.
No.
To come out and say Jay-Z set him up. I believe now, especially seeing what has happened and nobody's got any news on it, I truly believe that they're all in on it. I didn't feel this way a couple of months ago, but now it's like, how can you just go month after month and it's supposed to be a court date and then you don't hear anything? And then it's just like, their next time in court, they've had now what? 5 adjournments? What is there to adjourn? Let's get on with it. What happened? If they said that he got arrested on a gun charge, what's taking them so long?
Exactly.
If she says he shot me, let some broad say that I shot them. My ass would have been in jail. We'll put your ass in jail till we figure it out. He wouldn't be able to walk around and make music. And so if somebody comes and points the finger at me and says, "Oh, that little yellow nigga shot me," I'd be in jail. And they'd say, "We're gonna wait until we figure it out. Then you can get your ass out of jail."
Yeah, it'd be a totally different story. That's for sure. That's why I feel this is all just a game. It's all just.
I believe it's a game. And look at Megan, the 4 Grammys, the WAP. You watch when the Grammys roll back around. WAP's gonna win. She's gonna win more Grammy for us. So that's gonna be 2 straight years. She's gonna win at least 2 for WAP with Cardi B. She's got all these other awards, the BET Awards. She's gonna win she won big at Billboard. So I believe that's a part of it. All that's a part of it. This black women stuff and then what they're gonna do is They're just going to hope that you eventually forget about it or don't care, and then you're going to be sitting around and saying, "Whatever happened to that case?" And you're going to look and say, "Oh, that case got dismissed 3 months ago." You'd be like,
Oh,
"I didn't hear nothing about that.
really?
How did it get dismissed? What happened?" Oh, they dropped the charges. I'm telling you, they're going to make it so quiet. They're going to keep it out of the limelight, and they're going to say, you're going to have to go searching to find out what happened.
Yeah, it's going to be confidential. It's going to be totally confidential.
Sealed.
There was a deal settled, no information, confidential of the settlement or whatever, or, just disappear. You totally forget. We won't forget, but everyone else can.
Get on with it. Like I said, I stopped talking about it, and like I told people, I was gonna stop talking about them. I was gonna stop talking about Kelsey, whatever the heck her name is. I'm tired of her. I'm tired of Tory with this excuse about, oh no, I can't say anything because it's legal. But you're going around making records saying you didn't do it, and you're going around making subliminal tweets. But then when we want to come out and say, what does that tweet mean? Oh, I can't say anything because of legalities. Well, how come Megan can say you shot her?
Yeah, exactly.
How come she doesn't have to? How come she doesn't have to deal with legalities? How come she can say you shot her, but you can't say you didn't, and you can't say who did? Come on, man.
Yeah,
it's annoying now.
Yeah.
So I just don't care, enough about Tory Lanez. I never did. I never thought he was that great. He's a talented dude. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'm not, camping outside Walmart for Tory Lanez's album.
Those days,
So right, so I don't feel I'm not even doing that for Megan, So, and she's the bigger star. So absolutely. I don't get what the big big secret of Tory. No one cares about Tory Lanez like that.
Hey, before we go, I have to put this out there. I actually thought of this the other day. Did you ever thought we would see the day where female rap surpasses male rap? No one talks about who's the main dude, who's the king of this.
Nobody. You noticed that, right?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Male rap doesn't matter. And the funny thing is, everything is females now. Who's number one? Who's gonna go number one? No one cares about the men. No one cares about where's Kendrick Lamar. When Nicki Minaj was away, they're like, when's Nicki coming back? When's Cardi coming back? No one gives a rat's fat ass about Kendrick Lamar.
Who's very talented. And no one
this dude has been away for 10 years. No one is even checking for him.
He's alive? Or we don't care. I guess he's alive.
I don't care what's going on with the barbs. No one cares about Big Sean. No one cares about Big Sean. No one cares about Rick Ross anymore.
The only time there was some sort of heartbeat is because of 6ix9ine and his ridiculous tactics.
Right, 6ix9ine.
Again, but nothing to do with music, with just stupid stuff. It's
just antics. It's just antics. So, again, in closing, I don't think Nicki should do the verses because, like I said, they're going to turn this into a Little Kim inauguration, and we forgot how dope Kim was with all those hits. Everyone's going to be saying Kim won rounds that she didn't even win because of the whole popularity thing. And they're going to be rooting, and everyone feels sorry for Kim because poor Nicki put her out of relevancy. So
wants to do it. It makes sense.
Exactly. If I'm Nicki Minaj, I want no part of that. I want no part of it. And
I agree.
As far as the baby and Megan go, I know a lot of people who don't like Megan are saying, "Oh, the baby. What about her working with Cardi?" I mean, it's a little different. Cardi threw a shoe at Nicki Minaj that didn't even connect, and Megan saying that this dude shot her. That's a totally different situation.
Even the same.
Totally different. And so even if Cardi would have connected with the shoe, it'd be different. Yeah. But my thing is this. If the baby told Meg Thee Stallion, don't worry, I'm not fucking with him. If he actually did tell her that and then went and did a record with her, that's foul. If he never said to her, if he never gave her any promises, if he never said, hey, I'm not going to work with this dude, you know what I mean? If they're really close like that, now listen, if they're not close like that, then Megan, just going about your business.
Yeah,
he doesn't know you. He doesn't know you a goddamn thing. It's still a business. He's still got to make his money. So if y'all are friends and he's like, listen, the
deal,
hey, you know what I mean? If y'all are friends, you talk outside of social media, and he's giving you his word. You know what? You're my friend. I can't work with anybody who did that to you. If he told you that behind closed doors, then yes, he's a foul dude. Yeah. But if he hasn't made any notions to that whatsoever, and you two don't even talk like that outside of social media or whatever, then he doesn't really owe you anything, Megan.
Yeah, exactly.
So that, to me, only them two can only them two know what's been said to them. Now Megan, if they got songs together, some of her biggest songs with the baby, and if you notice during the BET Awards, the baby came on the stage for his part, and Megan walked off the stage. That's the first time I've ever seen that. Wow. So they got records together. So what's going to happen now? Is Megan going to just continue to walk off the stage every time the baby's part comes? That's got to be awkward.
That's a loud statement. One word being said.
Yeah, that I've never saw that before.
Yeah, I never seen that.
But other than that, I think we pretty much covered everything.
I mean, that's
the woman's thing, the female rappers. I appreciate the list, and like I said, I have no issue with Queen Latifah being one, because I can see how some people would consider her the number one female rapper, because she did do a lot of those things before everyone else. She was the first female rapper on a TV show. She's probably the first female rapper that was a movie star, and she's the first female rapper to have her own talk show.
Yeah, check marking all those boxes, and she's curvy.
And it's not like she was trash. She was a pretty good rapper too.
Oh, absolutely.
So I can see that. Jersey's I would put Nicki one or Missy one, but I can see that. I'm not accepting Rhapsody, Rod Digger, and Remy Martin on this list. I'm sorry.
They went down the toilet of that. Okay, now we can rip this up. Okay, you was credible in the beginning, and now the end. Okay, now you just filibustering because you don't like Nicki. You don't want to give her props. Blah blah blah. It's so childish. It's just so stupid. It's just dumb. Like, put your
man, it's so funny.
Like you can't dismiss what she's done. I don't care if you like her or not.
You cannot take it away from her, man. Like, that's why I start having problems when you start preceding people's credentials based on the fact whether you personally like them or not. Who cares?
Do that.
You got to be fair about it.
You're gonna be credible as a host or a journalist, whatever. You just don't do that. You just got to keep it real. Put it out. Yeah, well, this is the list, and you got to have it. I mean, how you not have her on there at all? Not even at all. I mean, come on. That's just ridiculous.
And before going, hold on. Before going, I do want to say this one thing. People find a reason, and I'm just going to come out, and this is just real shit. People tend to keep coming to me and saying, you only like Cardi because she follows you.
And she was your daughter.
Well, duh. I mean, listen. I fuck with I like who likes me.
Yeah, whoever messes with you like back. Yeah, just
exactly.
Like you said.
I mess with whoever messes with me. Like so I'm not going to treat someone who never responds to me, never retweets, doesn't follow me, doesn't show support to me. Why would I treat that person the same way I treat a person who has showed support to my page, followed me back? When I lost my page, followed my new page.
Look at that.
Wow. Responds to DMs. Why would I treat them the same? That's anybody. People want to act like it's just me. That's anybody. If you out of nowhere woke up, right? If you out of nowhere, let's just take somebody you don't like, right?
Yeah, hypothetically.
Listen, you're not that crazy about LeBron James, right?
I'm not that great. Yeah.
So if you wake up the next morning and LeBron James said, "Yo, I checked out your Benchwarmers podcast. I really liked it. Keep doing your thing. I'm gonna follow you."
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me you feel a little bit about LeBron James?
I was like, wow, that's cool. Yeah, I would say, oh, that's cool. That's dope. You know, he didn't have to do that.
Would you say, no, I don't like LeBron. I'm unfollowing him. I'm deleting him.
I'm gonna say that's cool, and of
course not, because LeBron James. If LeBron James is following your podcast, that's going to give your podcast instant credibility.
And gave a shout out like that where he didn't have to. That shows a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So of course. But again, that's with anybody. That's the same thing with, Nicki Minaj, she's supporting her brother. Well, duh.
It's her brother.
It's her brother.
Yeah, and then until it was proven.
That's why I never got that. She supports pedophiles. Her brother. It's her brother.
And plus,
plus,
and
on top of that,
she was convicted.
On top of that, it had not been decided yet. It had not been decided yet whether he was. Now, if he come, that's like my brother, right?
Yeah,
I know my brother better than anybody. If somebody said my brother, if a 10-year-old came and said my brother raped him, right? And my brother came to me and was like, "Yo, this is a lie.
I didn't do this."
You don't think I'm not going to believe my brother?
Of course, you're going to believe me. Absolutely.
If he's telling me this is a lie. Now remember, and I don't mean to get on that part, but remember, once he was convicted, Nicki hasn't fucked with him since. At least not.
Yeah, she distanced herself from him.
But, right, but privately, if he's still telling her, "Sis, you know me, I would never do nothing like this. They set me up." Mm-hmm. I have no problem with her believing her brother. I mean, a lot of people don't like to hear that, but I have no problem with anybody believing their family if it's still murky.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's still murky. Now, I'm not going to forgive somebody that just went out and.
Absolutely not.
I know for a fact they murdered somebody and they come to me, "Oh, I didn't do it, man." You know, I'm not gonna forget that. Like, come on, bro. Like, your fingerprints were on the gun. Like, you know what I mean? But this situation, right? This situation is, you know, I guess it is kind of cut and dry when they talk about they found DNA, the guy's DNA. Okay, you can't really defend that. You know, he probably pretty much did it, and she distanced herself from him. You know what I mean? But until something decided, you can't. It is your family.
Yeah.
Because you've seen so many people, innocent people, get convicted and put in jail. You want to make sure you're not just turning your back on your family. Because if it turns out that you turned your back on them, it turns out they were innocent, you're really gonna feel like crap.
And let's put this also out there. There's been innocent people who've been executed. Not just, and that's even worse. It's terrible. They've been put to death, and meanwhile they didn't do it. So let's not act like that don't happen. It's still going on now. So let's be awake. So let's not act like I wouldn't do that. Well, then you didn't love your brother or sister, or you don't love them or something. That's No, seriously. I mean,
But
if you're gonna go
thanks for having me
overboard,
on. I'm gone. you love your brother and sister.
it's ridiculous. If you love your brother and sister and you know how they are, you're gonna back them. You're not gonna be like believing in the media. Oh yeah, you did it. Yeah, come on, man. Unless there's proof otherwise, you wouldn't just desert them like that. But thank you, Heaven, for being on the show. Great stuff as always. No pun intended. Well, great stuff with the segment and great stuff. Period. Yes, and thank you all for watching and listening to this wonderful, exciting adventure of the Benchwarmers podcast. Shout out to everyone in the chat room. Sorry, we never really get a chance to go in the chat room because we're busy doing our thing on here, talking about what's been going on in sports and entertainment. Thank you, Reese. Thank you, Joseph Tanner. Thank you all for participating in the chat room. We greatly appreciate you because without you, there is no us. Thanks to our producer extraordinaire, Wes Clark, aka the director, for making this all possible with the production of this wonderful program. Thank you all for listening and watching and listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the IE Network. Tell a friend and tell another friend, and then a whole bunch of friends will tell everybody else. And before you know it, millions of people and millions it will turn to billions of people, and the rest will be history. And this channel will go to over the stratosphere, in past Pluto and all that other planets and stuff, into galaxies abroad. So yes, thank you all for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Tune in again next week. Same time, same channel, of course, right here in the IE Network. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there, be square. With myself and my co-host, Heaven Hollywood. Producer extraordinaire, Wes Clark, a.k.a. director, of course, will be on, working his usual, doing his due diligence to make this show work. Of course, Heaven too, and myself. And also check out the other shows that are on this great channel. We got Real Talk, which comes Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the director Wes Clark hosting, and his Jedi Council with Ralph and Kev. You got Block TV that comes on with the juiciness of entertainment behind the scenes with Lex hosting. We also have, of course, Heaven with the Heaven Hollywood Experience and his lives on here and his video uploads when it comes to what's going on behind the scenes in the world of entertainment. Shout out, of course, to Heaven for doing all that. That comes on, that's practically almost daily when it comes to those video uploads. And with his lives that comes on, just make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button. And that way you'll be notified when any one of us will come on the air. So that way you won't miss 1 second of this wonderful channel that is called the IE Network. Thank you all for listening. Have a great night, everybody, and a great week. And as I head off to the IE Network horizon, I say this to you all, as always, because I'm Jimmy Ace. Latest and tomatoes. Peace.